Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble Arthas event guide, I'm going to show you how to take out the Lower Spire in Mythic difficulty. And these Mythic difficulty fights in the Arthas event are no joke, these are actually really hard. I'm still trying to find out ways to make them like super easy. This is repeatable, I can do this like in 15 minutes if I want to get a repeat kill of this. It might take a few attempts because there's a lot of timings that you have to be aware of, but this one at least is repeatable once you learn how to do it. So, Lower Spire Mythic, all enemies gain 4 levels, Mauladin summons Bloodlusted Undead Footmen on death, Arthas and Mauladin sent out map-wise, Frost waves at 50% health. So what are the key mechanics of this fight? Arthas' friend Mauladin, who was a bit of a joke in normal and heroic, is now actually super dangerous. Mauladin still patrols the map like he used to, but now when he reaches 50% health he releases a Frost Wave. Frost Wave is going to cast Frost on your minis for 2.5 seconds, after which all of your minis explode for 150 elemental damage. So if you have a group of minis together, each explodes for 150 damage, well, they're just all going to die. And any that die spawn a skeleton mage at Mauladin, so then Mauladin is going to send this wave of skeleton mages at you. Mauladin also is going to spawn 6 undead footmen with bloodlust on death. And even if you kill Mauladin, Mauladin is going to respawn after 45 seconds. And Arthas himself has also gained this Frost Wave, even though it doesn't show in his phase indicators. So what's going to happen with Arthas? Phase 2 is going to happen when Arthas enters 70% health. He's going to spawn minis near your base and near Arthas. Well, this is as usual. He's going to cleanse himself of any poison, and he's going to gain a 90% damage shield for 5 seconds. Then there's going to be the Frost Wave at 50%. This is not a phase change, so there's no damage immunity, but there's going to be Frost on your minis for 2.5 seconds, and then they're going to explode for 150 elemental damage, and then that dies spawn a skeleton mage, this time at Arthas. And then finally there's phase 3 at 40% health, which is the same as phase 2, spawns a bunch of minis, cleanses poison, gains 90% damage shield for 5 seconds. And fight is going to end when Arthas reaches 10% health. So there are tons of enemies in Mythic Lower Spire, and like in many of these mythics where there's tons of enemies, we can make use of that. So the way I like to do this, way I found to be the most repeatable way, is to make a small attack first to get through phase 1, try to avoid Mauladin, and then defend the phase 1 spawns, and then make a bigger attack that's going to get through the Frost Wave and through phase 2, and because the Frost Wave doesn't give Arthas that immunity, means that the Frost Wave mages and then the phase 2 minis are all going to spawn pretty much at the same time, which means that then you can just living bomb, but you need to living bomb so the damage shield wears off. So the damage shield lasts for 5 seconds, and living bomb has a 2-second cooldown before the explosion, which means that you want to wait around 3.5–4 seconds, then cast living bomb, and that should end the fight. And here is the army that I have been using. I'm using Arthas, then I have a Plague Farmer, a Witch Doctor, Living Bomb, Ghoul, Bat Rider, and a Priestess. So I have some healing, I have a lot of cheap area of effect damage. Arthas is 1 tank, and then Ghoul gives me another cheap tank, and then I have that Living Bomb. It's also possible to do this in a single push, and then you just get to Living Bomb, but I found that defending 2 sets of minis from phase 1 and phase 2, I just found that difficult, and I found gold to be in really short supply, so it was kind of difficult. I mean, potentially you can also do that. I have seen people do it like that as well, but I found one small attack and then a bigger attack, kind of like you do in Gar in Molten Core, to be more repeatable, at least for me. And let's go take a look at a couple of kills with this strategy in action. So here we go, Mythic Lower Spire. In this one, the random seed is going to change every time you restart the fight. So you cannot learn the opening and know how to respond to your exact opening. You have to be flexible. And here first you want to wait, because you don't want to challenge that Mauladin. So you will wait and you will see, okay, what's going to happen, what's going to attack me, and then decide how do you work on from there. And here I had a Ghoul and an Abomination coming from the right. I figured, okay, maybe I'll need to put my Arthas and my main push to go through right and then swing from there towards the left. I also do it so that I just have them attack left directly, but it really depends on the opener, and because the opener changes every time, then you have to be very flexible about it. There I almost forgot to turn the arrow. So I can sometimes send minis that are going through the right path, through the middle afterwards. But now when my main push was going through the right, then I want them to take that tower. And then once I have taken that tower, then we're going to attack Arthas. And I don't want to attack Arthas with too much power. So something like... Now I have a little bit too little power, I think, though. I would prefer to have one Plague Farmer there. But we'll make do, I suppose. Now that's Arthas, Batrider, Witch Doctor, Priestess. That's a very small push. Now let's see if we can face the Lich King with those. If we can face the Lich King, then it's all good. I mean, nothing else is needed. If we can get him to the face, then that's going to be totally fine. But yeah, now we were a little bit lacking. That's unfortunate. Yeah, we're not going to get the face. So I was trying to save gold for the face change, but now that we were not going to get to the face, then I just started spending in order to get another push going. I would still want to avoid Moladim, if at all possible. And I'm trying to push through the left again. Push through the left because that's the longest path for Moladim. Moladim passes by Arthas, and then he has a long way to go until he reaches the left side. That's the idea there. I've also seen some people push through middle, try to avoid Moladim's path like that, but here the tower is going to delay Moladim a bunch, and that's going to give my army the time I need. Okay, so far so good. Now we might have a bit too much of a push even here. I'm actually a little unhappy we have a little bit too much, but Moladim arrived just in time, saving the day. And I had some troops already on the right side, so they handled the minis that spawned there, and the left side minis were killed just fine. Okay, then there's going to be, well, there's going to be the other wave that's coming from Arthas, and I'm trying to handle that the best I can. The sides are okay, the middle is a little bit scary right now. Could have waited maybe a little bit with the Plague Farm, and then again this saved the base a little bit better. I think that was fine. Moladim in the meanwhile managed to die on the right side and summoned some footmen, but I had enough minis to handle that. So everything's going okay. I don't particularly want to kill Moladim, but if you can kill Moladim when you're not trying to engage Arthas so separately, then that's completely fine. And that's going to give you 45 seconds. Because Moladim takes 45 seconds to respawn. Alright, and now we have our big push. Plague Farmers, Priestesses. Stuff is going in. We want to get a lot of damage in at Arthas. Then there's going to be a Frost Wave, but hopefully Arthas will reach... As you can see, the amount of damage going in is so huge. The explosion happens only after. Then 3.5 to 4 seconds. Wait a couple of seconds. Blow them up with a Living Bomb. And that is it. Boom. That was fun, so let's do it again. Really, it's just hard to keep track of that Moladim's movement sometimes, and I didn't have perfect control of Moladim's movement in the last kill either. So here, there's an Abomination and a Meat Wagon coming from the right. So I decided, okay, I'm going to tank the Abomination with the Ghoul, and I'm going to send a Batrider to help it. Just remember the wait at the start. And I'm going to send my push go through left this time, not through right, because I didn't want to send my push into that Meat Wagon. I figured that the Ghoul is going to be tanking Abomination long enough, and then the Batrider is just going to handle everything. And there's another Abomination on the left side, but it's all totally fine. Arthas will be able to handle that just fine. So here we go, here we go. Wondering if I want to send another Batrider. What do I really want to send anywhere anyway? I do want to mine. That I do know. And I want there to be a small push at the left. It's sometimes a little bit hard. Like, it has to be small so that it doesn't get Lich King too far. Unless you try to do it in single push. But then there's... Gold can be an issue if you try to do it like that. Okay, so this push is... No. I tried to send the Plague Farmer out there to join the push, but that failed. So now instead I'm stuck fighting against Moladim. which was not my main intention. There's the 50% frost wave. Some skeletal mages coming right at me. But I have gold. I have resources. I can fight them. Now I was trying to catch Moaladim there. Because I figured, okay, well, I might as well kill it now that we already proc the frost wave. So, as you can see, keeping track of Moaladim's movement is really hard part. And in this kill, things are happening differently than in the last kill. We're getting, like last time we didn't proc Moaladim's wave. Then we killed Moaladim much later. Things happen just completely differently. But still we have the same plan. And we're trying to do that to the best of my ability. Best case scenario wouldn't even kill Moaladim at all, but sometimes. Here, on the other hand, I'm thinking that I can kill this Moaladim now, because Moaladim is at low health, and I'm grabbing these opportunities. Lich King is the best tank, and I have the Bat Rider there, so I'm ready to take out Moaladim. And I have the push going for Arthas, so we're going to get the first phase change here. I'm saving gold. There's the phase change. Then we're going to jam some fellows out here, so that we can kill all of those minis. And boom, they go down. Wonderful. That was perfect. So we survived the first phase change, and we did not proc the frost wave. That's pretty important when you do it like this. If you proc the frost wave too soon, and you don't get to proc the frost wave plus phase 2 at the same time, then you won't have enough minis around Arthas to kill Arthas with the living bomb. Moaladim has been resummoned, but I have the push going in. Let's go. Just trying to add, especially those plague farmers. I'm trying to add DPS to the push. And now I have to start saving. I need 6 gold. I really need to have 6 gold available. Okay, frost wave. Alright. 6 gold. Go. Everything happens at once. Boom. And victory. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.